Local architect by the name of Tom Adams quite liked that idea, so he adopted them as his trademark. He would actually put black caps on buildings to denote that he had designed and built those buildings. Also on the right hand side, on the first and second floors, you'll notice some of the windows have actually been bricked up. That stems from a Georgian daylight tax. So you were taxed on the amount of light that actually came into your home. The more windows you had, the more tax you paid. The easiest way to avoid it was to simply brick your windows up. Gave rise to that very popular phrase that still exists. You go into a shop, you find something is expensive, the next word you generally hear are these: how much? That's daylight robbery. So yeah, we think it stems from this tax. City walls on our right here. Corner tower, it's called Robin Hood's Tower. Why? Not a clue. Robin Hood, nothing to do with the city whatsoever. Behind the walls though, we have the Cathedral and Metropolitical Church of St. Peter's in York, to give its official title. Known locally as the Minster, of course, much easier to say. It's both the Minster and the Cathedral. Minster coming from the German word Manster, Cathedral from the Latin cathedra, which means seat. It's actually the 5th building to stand on this particular site. The first was a small wooden chapel that was built somewhere on the site in 627 AD. Behind the buildings on the right we've got Monk Bar. That's the tallest of the gateways. It stands at 63 feet in height, or 19.2 metres. Stone figures you can see on top carrying boulders. They're known as the Wild Men of the North. Legend has it that should the city come under attack, these men will actually spring to life and throw those boulders down on our attackers. Yeah, I believe that when I see it. It's also the only gateway with a working portcullis. So portcullis is the iron grill below it, stop people getting in. And will last lower that in 1953, the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. It came down quite nicely. It only took us 3 minutes to lower it. Unfortunately, it got stuck in the road. It took us 3 days to get it back up again. Caused all sorts of mayhem in the area. So we've never lowered it since. Although we still claim it works. Here it is on the right then. This is Monk Bar. As I say, the tallest of the gateways at 19.2 metres in height. So we're now on the street called Monk Gate. So gate being the Viking word for street. This would have been the street of the monks. They would have gone through Monk Bar there behind us to get to Minster, attend daily services and minister to the people of the city itself. Blue road sign on our left here. Next to that we've got a mock Elizabethan dock garden. Now you don't see many gardens like this one here for free on the left. So you can see why we like to show it off. Stunning garden. Up to the right there's lots of them in York of course. As you can see that one's called the Brigadier Gerard. A testament to the racing history of the city. Racing that's taken place on York Stainsmire since the 1700s. Before that we raced at a place called Clifton Inns. We even actually raced on a frozen river Ouse one year. The going that year, slippery to wet. So this will bring us into Foss Bank. On the left hand side we can see the smaller of York's 2 rivers, the River Foss itself. This is known from the Latin fossa, that means ditch or slow moving water. As you can see, nothing much has changed. And then I'm a bit disappointed lately. Up to about last month, we actually had the best building in the city on our right hand side. It was one everybody came to see. Magnificent building it was. As you can see, it's just a shell now. But last month, it was actually Sainsbury's. Yeah, beautiful building. When we were building that in the 1980s though, they actually uncovered a Jewish burial site here. So they actually found over 300 bodies. We got the chief rabbi up from London who confirmed the bodies were Jewish. He actually blessed the bodies, consecrated the land, and then left them where they'd been found. We believe they're under the car park these days. So they should be alright when it comes to the rebuild. There again, you can never tell what they'll find when they start digging here in York itself. City walls on the right come to an end at this point. They've never totally enclosed the city, haven't the walls? We do have the most complete set of city walls in the country. More of a horseshoe shape than anything else. 2.5 miles, 3 kilometres totally. Where we are though, this would have been boggy marshland. The River Foss itself was dammed by William the Conqueror to create what became known as the King's Fish Pool. So all this area, as I say, would have been boggy marshland, would have been fairly impenetrable, so we wouldn't have needed the city walls at this point anyway. The fish in the fish pool, they were just for the king and his men. If we were caught stealing fish, we actually had a hand chopped off. The caught us the second time, they chopped the other one off. The third time, well, you didn't want to push your luck. You'd have a nasty temper, did William. But most likely you would have lost your fishing tackle. The new hotel in front of us on the left, it's a Premier Inn. I believe it's called the Layerthorpe. But if you look up at the doorway there, look, you can see they've bricked up some of the windows. I wonder if anybody's told them we don't charge window tax anymore. You never know. So we're going to move back onto dry land, as it were. We're moving into Peaceholm Green. On the right hand side we can see a church. This one's called St Cuthbert's. Like the shambles, it's mentioned in the Doomsday list. So that's the list created by William the Conqueror. Actually lists all the land and property that he owned in order to be able to tax us. Now as you can see, there are 2 doors on the church. There's actually a big one to the left hand end and a smaller one to the right. That smaller one's known as the Devil's Door. Legend has it you would open that door during baptisms, so that at the point of baptism you can not only drive the devil out of the child, thank you sir, but you can also drive it out of the church as well, thank you. But of course, as everybody knows, the devil returns when they reach the teens. So coming up in front of us on the left, we've got a pub. It's called the Black Swan. You'll see a black cat above the doorway. It's clinging on for dear life. Here it is, look. So it's Tom Adams' building, built originally for the Lord Mayor of the city. Definitely a pub these days though. Log fire in there, lots of oak leaves, 3 ghosts. Of the 3, my favourite is actually a pair of legs that run around the landlord's apartments. Brings a whole new meaning to that phrase, being legless in a pub. This will bring us in stop number 8 at Stonebow, nearly centre of the city shops, the market area, and of course York's most famous street, the Shambles itself. Thank you. So in front of us on the right hand side there's a newsagent's. Says One for News, that's its name. It's actually on York's shortest street with the longest name. It's called Whipma Wopma Gate. That means it's neither a wit nor a what. It's actually a nothing kind of street. It's where the stocks themselves would have been in the Middle Ages. So if you committed a minor misdemeanour, or you were a wife who'd annoyed her husband, this is where we would bring you. We'd place you in the stocks, have you whipped and walked. Which is not a nice thing to be doing, as I'm sure you'll agree, ladies. So you'd be pleased to know we don't do it anymore. Can't anyway, they've taken the stocks away, rotten buggers. Then we've got a little church hall, that's called St Cuthbert's. Sorry, it's not, it's Crux. St Crux, it is just a church hall. The church itself was demolished to put the road in. And then just beyond the church hall on the right is the Shambles itself. Very evil street of butchers. Gets its name from the word flesherman. Flesh being the meat, shamble being the shelf on which would actually display the meat itself. So literally every single shop on this street was a butcher shop. The animals slaughtered in the yards at the back of the shops, and anything they couldn't sell would have been thrown into the street itself. So the street would have looked a mess, a complete and utter shambles, as we might say these days. Here it is, look on the right. Very busy up there, usually is. So we turn left at these lights, we're going into Piccadilly. which is a modern street, dates from 1905. Actually gets its name from the same street in London. So it is our attempt at a thriving, busy, bustling shopping street. We've failed, of course. The best we've got, Harrods of the North on the right, Primark. We come down here for this magnificent building on the left though. This is the Merchant Adventurers Hall. Lovely timber frame building, as you can see, dating to the 13th century. Some of the timbers were actually taken from trees that grew in Viking times.